Assalamu alaikum. Today we will talk about the interview preparation for January 2023 18 January examination. So I'll start with the first question. First of all, the interviewer will ask you about your identity and if you are alone or not. The interview will be camera based, so you have to appear in front of your camera before talking to the examiner. And then they will ask you specific questions from the scenario. I've already explained the scenario in another video, so you can check the scenario there. You should have full knowledge of your scenario, everything starting from start to end. Uh, what was the building, what was the location, how many workers were employed, what is FCC, and what is waterfront cinema. You should have knowledge about each and everything. You should know the behavior of FCC as well as the behavior, health and safety related behaviors of waterfront cinema. So now I will go specifically throughout the paper, starting from the first question to seventh question, and I'll discuss every part briefly. So you should know that what should be considered when answering a particular question. So now I'll start with the first question. So, first question in the scenario was based on scenario only. From the scenario, you have to tell as the health and safety advisor effectively manage the emergency. How did health and safety advisor manage the emergency? I have already sent you a document relating to interview, so you will have to follow that document. Now I will talk about specific questions of interview. So first question was how did he manage the emergency? So first of all, he took the charge of the situation. Suddenly, he came to the site where the accident occurred. He took charge of the situation. Secondly, he asked for the first aid kit. Thirdly, he asked worker to evacuate main hall. Means that he asked a specific worker to close the cinema and evacuate the hall. He ordered the evacuation through emergency exit for public members to prevent panic, and then he also called ambulance service. उर्दू में भी मैं एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ कि उसने कैसे इवैक्यूएशन की थी ताकि आप लोगों को पता हो। नॉर्मली उसने आते ही चार्ज ले लिया था सिचुएशन का, जहाँ पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ था वहाँ से लोगों को पीछे हटा के उसने सिचुएशन का चार्ज लिया था। चार्ज लेने के बाद उसने फर्स्ट एड देने के लिए दस्ती फर्स्ट एड किट मंगवाई थी। उसने कहा था कि फर्स्ट एड किट ला के दें। तो उसने एक वर्कर को कहा था कि वो सिनेमा को क्लोज करे और क्लोज करने के बाद वो फर्स्ट एड स्पेसिफिकली प्रोवाइड। फिर उसने जब जायज़ा लिया था कि यार उसकी हालत ठीक नहीं है, उसको इंजरीज हुई हैं, तो उसने इमरजेंसी सर्विसेज यानी कि एम्बुलेंस को कॉल की थी। उसके बाद उसने कहा था कि पब्लिक मेंबर्स जो हैं उनको थ्रू इमरजेंसी एग्जिट, जो हर हॉल में इमरजेंसी एग्जिट 8 हॉल थे, 8 हॉलों में इमरजेंसी एग्जिट मौजूद थी। उसने कहा था उनको वहाँ से इमरजेंसी एग्जिट से एग्जिट करवाएं। और उसने मैनेजर को भी कॉल की थी ताकि मैनेजर इमरजेंसी को डील कर सके, लेकिन मैनेजर ने उसकी कॉल नहीं उठाई। अब मैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 पे जाऊँगा, फिर दोनों लैंग्वेजेज़ में प्रोसीड करता हूँ। नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट नेगेटिव कल्चर एट हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी। Normally, what does negative culture means? Negative culture means that something is not going good with health and safety. So, talking about negative culture, first thing is there were high number of accidents. Um, when health and safety advisor was there, accident occurred, and accident also occurred before that due to the same ladder. So there was high number of accident. There were no specific risk assessment. The risk assessment that was present was also old. That was carried out in 2020, and that was also not specific to waterfront cinema. That belonged to some other cinema. They had lack of resources for health and safety, like you can see that there were no first aid arrangements, no first aid proper kits, and also they didn't replace the ladder because it was they thought that it was waste of money. So they have lack of management commitment, as management was smoking, it was not interested to provide health and safety related commitments. They didn't arrange any specific sitting place for health and safety advisor, and the team leader asked a young worker to perform her work at height, even though knowingly that he was having phobia. So there was also poor leadership by cinema manager. Again, the reasons are same, that he was smoking, he was not taking interest in health and safety matters. He was asking advisors that he won't be available for the interview or other things. There were no first aid arrangements, as I've already told you that first aid kit only got two plasters in it. Emergency responses were not specific. Um, The health and safety policy was also old. That was based on 2018. They don't have had any specific health and safety policy, and policy was also not communicated.